There is a specific ritual. Well, no, let's call it a habit. A habit that strictly separates people who build real wealth from people who constantly wonder where their money went.
Okay, that sounds...
And it happens exactly once a month, like clockwork. If you skip it, even just a few times, you fall so far behind financially that catching up becomes, it becomes almost impossible.
Frank, stop. That sounds like one of those late-night internet scams. Discover this one weird trick.
Right? It does sound like that. But look, it costs absolutely nothing. It takes, maybe 30 minutes, tops. But it has a bigger impact on your family's future than your salary, your investment returns, or literally any financial advice you will ever receive.
Wait, more than your actual salary?
Exactly, because, most people treat their finances like a mystery box. Money comes in, money goes out.
Ugh, the old swipe and pray method. We've all been there. Checking the bank balance and just hoping it's not zero.
Exactly. They have this vague sense of, I should probably save more, but they don't actually know where the money is going. And that is exactly why you see people making $60,000 a year feeling just as broke as someone making 30.
Or the people making $150,000 who are somehow still living paycheck to paycheck, which, is terrifyingly common.
Literally all the time, because it's not about how much you earn. It's about whether you're actively managing what happens to that money or just passively watching it disappear.
Which is exactly what we are fixing today. I'm Lynn.
And I'm Frank. Welcome to Talk and Wonder. We create easy-to-understand whiteboard animations covering family finance, investing, passive income, and debt management.
Our goal is to break down complex financial topics, help you avoid traps, and build wealth together. If you want to secure your future, you are exactly in the right place.
So, the difference between active management and, passive hope is sitting down for a monthly money meeting as a couple or with yourself.
The 30-minute ritual.
Right. The first week of every month, you block out 30 to 60 minutes on your calendar. Not optional, not, just when you feel like it.
Or when the credit card bill randomly scares you.
Yeah, especially not then. Every single month without exception, you sit down and you do a complete financial review, which means first you pull up every single account. And I mean everything. Your checking account, savings, your retirement accounts.
The mortgage, the car loan.
Right, the student loans, even that one credit card you only use for points and keep forgetting about. You write down the current balance of each one.
Which is honestly terrifying. I think the reason people don't do this is because, looking at all your debt at the exact same time, it makes you feel physically sick. I remember when we first added up all our loans years ago,
We literally didn't speak to each other for 2 hours that night.
giggles. We were just staring at the wall. It was awful.
It was. But, and here is the crucial thing, you're not writing this down to, fix it right this second. You just need to see the complete financial picture, because most people have absolutely no idea what their actual net worth is.
Because they only look at it in little pieces.
Exactly. They know they have, let's say, $2,300 in checking.
Okay, feels safe.
And maybe they have $8,000 sitting in a savings account somewhere.
Still feeling pretty good.
Right, but they've never put that next to the $3,200 they owe on credit card 1 and the $1,800 on credit card 2.
And the $18,000 in student loans just quietly breathing down their neck in the background.
Exactly. Plus maybe $45,000 in a retirement account. Whatever the numbers are, you write them all down, and then you just do simple math. You add up everything you own, subtract everything you owe, and boom.
Your net worth.
That is your net worth. Look at it as your financial scoreboard. This is how you know objectively if you are winning or losing at money.
A scoreboard. I actually really like that. Because, otherwise people make financial decisions based entirely on feelings instead of facts.
Spot on.
You can feel like you're doing okay just because your bills are paid on time, or Actually, the reverse. You might feel incredibly stressed because you had to pay for a surprise car repair, but if you checked the scoreboard, you'd realize your investments went up that month and you're actually richer than you were 30 days ago.
Yes, that is exactly why this matters. When you track your net worth every single month, you remove the emotion. You see exactly what is happening. Did your net worth go up this month?
Then you're doing something right.
Did it go down? Then something needs to change. Because without this monthly check-in, you could literally be slowly going broke and not even realize it until you're in serious trouble.
Right, which brings us to the part everyone hates.
Yep. Step 2, you review every single transaction from the past month. Every dollar in, every dollar out. And look, I know this is where most people just completely fall apart.
Because it sounds tedious, and honestly, people don't want to face what they actually spent money on. It's like, if I don't look at the credit card statement, the dollars don't count.
Exactly. But this is where all the power lives. Because if you do this every month, it takes maybe 20 minutes. But if you wait and try to do it for an entire year at tax time,
It takes hours, and you end up crying at the kitchen table.
exactly. So you just go line by line. No judgment, no guilt, just observing. You spent $120 at restaurants.
Okay.
You spent $60 at coffee shops, $280 on groceries.
And $45 on subscriptions you forgot you had. Oh, and let's not forget the $200 on random Amazon purchases at 1 a.m., which seemed incredibly necessary at the time, but you literally can't even remember what came in the box.
We've all been there, but when you look at it monthly, you start seeing these patterns that are completely invisible day to day. Like, let's look at the restaurants. You might realize you're spending $400 a month on eating out.
Which doesn't feel like $400 because it's, $20 here, $30 there.
Right, but $400 a month is $4,800 a year.
Okay, I need a second. Frank, stop. $4,800 a year just on takeout?
Just on takeout. Now, ask yourself, is eating out worth almost $5,000 to you annually?
I mean, maybe, if it's your absolute favorite thing to do.
Exactly. If it is, great, keep doing it. But maybe you'd rather have that $4,800 sitting in an investment account growing for your family's future. The point is, you didn't even realize you were making that trade-off until you saw the numbers.
It's about conscious decisions instead of just letting your money happen to you, which leads us to the dreaded B word, doesn't it?
The budget, yes. But look, a budget is not this restrictive deprivation plan where you can never have fun.
Right, it's not a prison.
It's an allocation system. And here is what separates people who build wealth from people who just stay broke. Wealthy people treat their budget as a living document.
Ooh, I like that. A living document, meaning it changes. Like, if gas prices suddenly go up this month, you don't just panic, you just adjust the transportation budget.
Exactly. Or if you stayed home a lot and spent less on entertainment, great. You move that surplus to savings. Broke people either don't have a budget at all, or they made one like 5 years ago and never looked at it again.
Well, my 2019 budget says I should be fine.
Right. It's a fantasy. You have to update it based on reality. But, and this is it, even if you track every penny and adjust your budget perfectly, none of this actually builds wealth unless you use what I call the 1% cheat code, which is increasing your savings rate by just 1 or 2% during this monthly review. Not doubling it, not making some massive, unsustainable jump, literally just 1%.
Which, honestly, you probably wouldn't even notice missing from your checking account.
Exactly. But over time, that extra 1% compounds into significant wealth. Let me show you what happens when someone does this religiously versus someone who, just hopes for the best. Let's take two people, Rachel and Michelle.
Okay, lay it on me.
They are both 28 years old, both making exactly $55,000 a year.
So, exact same starting line.
Right. At the beginning of the year, they're both saving 5% of their income, which is about $230 a month. But Rachel sits down on the first Sunday of every month for her 30-minute review. Michelle just thinks about money randomly when she's stressed about bills.
The old swipe and pray strikes again.
Yep. So in February, Rachel does her review. She realizes she's spending $150 a month on subscription services she barely uses, so she cancels half of them and takes that money to increase her savings rate to 6%.
And Michelle keeps paying for all of hers because she doesn't even realize she's still subscribed.
Exactly. Now, fast forward to April, they both get a 3% raise at work.
Oh, I know where this is going. Lifestyle creep, right?
Spot on. Michelle's lifestyle instantly expands to match the new paycheck, so she is still only saving 5%. But Rachel, she sees the raise during her review, decides she doesn't need to inflate her lifestyle, and bumps her savings rate to 8%.
Wow, so without feeling any tighter on her day-to-day budget, she's automatically saving more.
Exactly. Then in July, Rachel's review reveals she's blowing $300 a month on takeout. She decides that's excessive, commits to meal prepping a bit more, and reallocates $150 into her investments. Boom! Now she's saving 10%.
While Michelle is still ordering Uber Eats every other night and wondering why she's broke.
Right! By December, through just a combination of cutting wasteful spending and these tiny incremental increases, Rachel is saving 12% of her income.
Okay, wait. Let's look at the actual math. In 1 year, Rachel went from 5% to 12%. Michelle is still at 5%. What is the actual dollar difference there?
Slowly, for emphasis, over 1 year, Rachel saved about $6,000. Michelle saved $2,700. That's a $3,300 difference on the exact same salary.
Okay, wow. A $3,000 gap just from sitting down for 30 minutes a month? That is insane.
And it gets crazier because the monthly review creates a compounding effect, right? You train your brain to think strategically. By year 5, Rachel is saving 20% of her income and building serious wealth. And Michelle?
Let me guess, struggling despite making more money.
Because her spending just kept creeping up and she never caught the leaks. But, and this is important, none of this matters, and I mean none of it, if you don't use this monthly meeting to do one final and honestly deeply uncomfortable thing, which is confronting your actual mathematical future.
Wait, like making a vision board? Lighting a manifestation candle?
No, nothing like that. Not the woo-woo manifestation stuff. I mean a concrete, strategic projection. You take that net worth number we calculated earlier,
The scoreboard.
and you calculate where you will be in exactly 5 years if you just maintain your current savings rate. And then you ask yourself one very simple question. Does this future excite me, or does it completely terrify me?
Oh, wow, that is heavy, because if it scares you, you can't just unsee it. You have to change something today.
Exactly. Most people just drift. They drift through life, assuming things will somehow magically work out. And then they wake up at, 45 or 50 with minimal savings, completely wondering what happened.
Because they never forced themselves to have that uncomfortable confrontation, they just kept hoping.
Yes, and look, here's the brutal truth. If you are not sitting down every month to review your money, you are actively losing ground to people who are. The gap starts small, maybe a few $100s a month, but over 10 or 20 years?
The gap becomes a completely different social class.
Exactly. The person doing the reviews built wealth through 1,000 small, deliberate decisions. The person who didn't, they watched their money bleed out through 1,000 tiny leaks they never even noticed.
And what absolutely drives me crazy is, we're all guilty of this, right? We will literally spend 3 hours a day scrolling social media, just staring at our phones, but we somehow can't find 30 minutes once a month to manage the exact thing that dictates our entire financial future?
It's insane, but that is exactly how people stay broke despite working so hard. The secret to wealth isn't some crazy investment strategy or a side hustle or a massive inheritance. It's just 30 minutes of active management that most people are, too lazy or too scared to do.
So you need to block out the calendar. Not next week, not, I'll do it after I get my next paycheck. Today. Set it for the first Sunday of every month.
Sit down, review everything. Track your net worth, find the leaks, because you can either do this and build the life you want, or you can keep wondering where your money went while you fall further behind. The choice is yours, and honestly, you are making it right now.